Hello Capricorn, let's take a look what's coming up for you in the time of June 2019. All right, the card that fell out is the Page of Wands in reverse, and that's unexpected news or surprise events or endings. So there's something coming up that you don't anticipate, but when it does, you're going to be finding yourself, especially around the home and the family, going through a bit of inner conflict there. Not everyone's going to see your point or see your energy. There might be futile arguments or frustrations. You might be pushing through, believing one situation is supposed to be the way that you perceive it, and others are seeing it in a different way. Now, as this is seeing, there's going head to head here, but really at the end of the day, when the dust settles, you're probably all going to be on the same page, okay? So it's best just to let it go. The conflict of interest is going to create a few storm clouds, a few problems, okay? Obviously with that Page of Wands in reverse, it's something that you don't see coming, but when it does happen, it's probably going to set you back a little bit there, okay? It may have just been something that had been popping up since around about the time of the month of May, and you get into June and it's going head to head throughout this period of time. Try not to make any rash decisions. Be very careful of your words throughout this period of time, because attitudes and energy spent on attitude can create those conflicts. In connection with your career goals and aspirations, we've got here the Page of Pentacles, and the Page of Pentacles is all about having a vision, seeing things come together. It's a great photography's card or creative card in which you're using visual arts or visual means such as technology and so forth, such as filmmakers or story writers or bloggers or people that are, designers and creators, because this is really about seeing your vision come together, and it's perfect for those that are looking at going back to study or using their grades or using their credentials and their skills, because you can see some long-term results here. But this is also about you being able to see that you're being rewarded for that energy, that the energy that you're putting in is going to be worthwhile. I understand there's a conflict of interest, so maybe the conflict of interest could be over where you take your career path, where you envision it's going to be and what you think is going to happen, and maybe spirit or other people have a different idea at the moment, but it doesn't mean that that concept isn't going to come together in the long term. In connection with your financial areas, you've got the Nine of Swords. Now, the Nine of Swords means that you've been giving into doubt. You're feeling like situations aren't going to manifest the way that you hope or anticipate. Perhaps this is part of that conflict sitting here. But guess what? This is needless, because situations aren't as bad as what they appear. Circumstances aren't as dire. You may be finding that you are going to get what you want. Maybe you've just got to keep an eye on the big picture rather than giving in to that internal conflict, because once the dust settles, situations could be a lot better or a lot more stable around that financial areas, especially around about September of this year, because that represents the 9th month. Your health and betterment. Look, you've got Capricorn in Capricorn. So this tells you with the Saturn influence, okay, now Capricorn rules the bones, the teeth, it rules old age, it rules the support system such as joints, okay, and I often put it down to muscles and tendons. But you may be finding yourself really attracting a time that you need to look at what's creating a little bit of inflammation there or a problem within the body. Maybe this is about imagery, going and having a mammogram or an MRI or having an ultrasound or getting something looked at in a bigger way. And maybe your fears will be put to rest because everything will be okay. Maybe you're attracting the right agreements or the right support, and they can get you onto the right path to get things on track. This is a contracts and agreement, so it could mean that you go under a bit of a plan. It may be that this has a chance for you to be able to stick to the program for a little while longer, okay, and to be able to manifest what you want in the long term. Of course, with your relationship areas, we have the Sun, so it's all about the family, the image, it's all about that happiness and success, it's all about bringing back that joy and the energy around being able to manifest your plans and your goals. Now, if you've been having conflict with family, okay, or conflict over a relationship or conflict over a holiday or getting some change happening here, then take a step back and keep an eye on the bigger picture here, because you may be finding situations are going to work out all right. Everybody's going to come to the same agreement. It's not worth all of these futile struggles in between. If you are looking at, adding to the family, such as pregnancy, birth, or children, if you're worried about children, this is really a really strong time sitting here, and I see good successes, so it should be quite fortunate for all involved, okay? And especially if you have been going through that internal frustration about what's best to do in connection with your future goals and your family areas. Maybe there has been past frustrations, okay, and it's been over nothing, but you've attracted this time to really take a really strong look at situations and see whether it's really been worth it. And maybe you might go, hey, it wasn't what I thought it was after all. It's not what I was thinking after all. Now, of course, we got the Page of Wands sitting here, which means that there's something quite surprisingly that's popping up, something that you don't really see coming, okay? It might cost you a little bit of time and energy, and it might cost you a little bit to sort out, but like I said, keep an eye on that bigger picture, because it's not as bad as what it's considered. All right, you will get what you need at the end of the day, and you will be happy with those results. I thank you so much for your beautiful connection. I hope that you have enjoyed your reading and your Tarotscopes for the time of June 2019.